And we'll be right back right after this. What is going on, guys? It's Adam A.K. Marf, and this is Marfoogle News. Tonight, we are going to be talking about a ton of stuff, so this is definitely going to be an interesting show. One is that there is so much going on that it is hard to kind of take yourself away and out of it. So first off, let me just get a few things out of the way. Of course, we do this every time. Just want to make sure you know nothing in the show should be considered legal, medical, or financial advice. The views of the callers can differ considerably and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of myself, Dex, or anybody else that works for the show. You should always do your own research and consult with professionals. The internet is full of fake news, so please take everything with a grain of salt. With that out of the way, if you're not getting notifications from the algorithm gods of any of the platforms, make sure to get ours. You can actually go to marfooglenews.com and you can get our push notifications. It will go directly to your phone, therefore you will not miss the show. Our shows are always kind of random. It could be at 7, 7:37, 8:24. Again, our show is a little bit different. I have 3 kids. I'm a normal person, and of course, I have 4 kids. One that I don't have to deal with so much, but 3 small children. So you guys have always known for 3 years that it's really hard for me to get things kind of nailed down. So you are a person, I am a person. We're going to be talking about some stuff, and that is really what the show is. We're going to be chatting about all of the crazy stuff. Today's show is very special. It is an unidentified, so we have a lot of viewer-submitted work as far as videos of different sightings and things like that. This is the one day a week. Usually it's Unidentified Friday, where we get to talk about anything from UFOs to any kind of sightings, really, that we get to kind of take a break. Now, I did a video that was, or a live stream really, that was 2 hours long over on YouTube only. That video is extremely important. It's about conflict. In fact, we called some things that were actually said in Pompeo's speech a couple days before they were said. And that is because we have some really great sources that are, of course, telling us what is going on, behind all of this craziness. And honestly, I think that everybody needs to be prepared. With that out of the way, let's introduce Dex. Dex, what is going on, and how are you doing tonight?
Hello, Adam. I'm doing good, and hello, Foogle fam.
So the website is updated, Dex. You guys can follow along. Here's something that we do a little bit different. We actually give you the articles, the sources, the documents, the videos, everything we are going to show you here today. You can actually follow along, or later on go back and read the entire articles. You can go here on a second device and actually read along with us. In fact, we give you the source, so we don't just say something without backing it up. And if we do say something that is opinion or theory, then we make sure to clarify. So we also, try to make it as friendly as possible, that you can actually find it and navigate it. Again, all you have to do is look for this thumbnail. We sleep, watch, obey, consume, Marf more. I don't know if anybody caught that on a tiny thumbnail. Yeah, you got to Marf more. Then you can actually see all of this is there. So all of the articles, all of the videos, you can investigate for yourself. If you're saying, hey, that video looks, photoshopped or something, you can go and look at it for yourself and see what you think. Sometimes it doesn't translate well when I'm showing you a video. Sometimes you might want to just go to yourself and zoom in and do whatever you like to do with these sightings videos. So let's get straight into it. We do have a couple stories regarding space and everything else regarding this, so we'll get into it right now. Will an asteroid hit in 2022? This is, of course, in a ton of newspapers, along with, as I've said for a long time, they have actually said pretty much every other day that something, an NEO or a near-Earth object or an asteroid or a meteor, is coming in close. It seems like they cover it more. Some people thought that, maybe it was just because they were covering it more because they ran out of other things to do and the interest kind of raised after certain events. But we actually looked, and the NEOs have actually gone up. It's not just the coverage of them. It is the apparent kind of finding of them, maybe. I don't know. Maybe they're finding more because of better technology. But what I do know is that we don't catch a lot of them until it's a day away or 2 days away or past. We've caught ones that were big enough to cause mass destruction a couple hours after they have passed. So they don't have the best technology as far as this goes, and they'd like you to think that it's so much better than it is. But who knows, though? We don't know what is behind closed doors at NASA or whatever else, and then some people don't even believe it exists out there. So totally understand. Everybody is welcome here. All views are welcome here. All sides are welcome here. With that, regarding that as well, it's one thing that I want to point out is it's a very, very just charged world right now. This is a chance for you to take 2 hours off and relax with other people and talk and conversate and have peace with everybody. Honestly, we're going to support everybody and anybody, no matter what their view is, even if it, some of the things they say just kind of irk us. That's when we really have to work harder. This is what people are not doing. There's no effort anymore. Nobody is putting effort into trying to understand the opposite side. Also, everybody's saying that the other side is brainwashed when really that means both sides think just as deeply and just as convincingly that they are the other people are getting brainwashed. Why don't we actually sit and talk about it? Well, that's because normally people get triggered and then go at each other. So we're going to be talking about UFOs, alien sightings, all sorts of fun stuff tonight. So again, great show to be around. Remember, you can call in if you have a special sighting or if you have a story regarding this. You can call in at 224-400-MARF. That is, again, 224-400-MARF. That number is scrolling on the black line down below. The blue line down below, that is the last show. If anyone super chatted or donated, that ends up down there, and we put your quote. So if you want to get on the next one, of course, do it during this show. All right. It says, now NASA displayed on the page of the Center Next Earth Objects, or CNEOs, for its acronym in English, that on the date for the possible impact of the asteroid 2009 JF1 with Earth, it said that the asteroid 2009 JF1 with a diameter of 13 meters, which is roughly, what is that, 39 feet, has a chance of, in 4,166 of impacting Earth, which is actually really low. That sounds like a lot, but that's actually extremely low as far as some of the numbers we've read off on some of the bigger ones. It says, according to the European Space Agency, or the ESA. On the other hand, according to NASA, the probability that the asteroid hits the Earth is 1 in 3,800, which is equivalent to 0.26% according to the Palermo scale, which I'm not an expert on. Again, there's more people talking about this online that are far more educated on this that I am. And if you are more educated, feel free to call in. Dex, now, do you know anything about the Palermo scale? I don't know I know we've talked about it on the show several times as far as covering different articles, but do you know anything about Palermo and why that where that plays a part?
No, Adam, I'm not actually familiar with the scale exactly.
It says this small asteroid has not been observed since its discovery 11 years ago, hence the uncertainty of its position is very high. So one thing I want to point out is I've said for a long time, I do believe that we have things headed our way, and I do believe that it's almost ignorant to think that they have had telescopes trained on the supposed sky for this long, and they have spotted so many. And I would think it would be very odd if they found not one that was going to hit us at some point in the future. If it was 150 years, maybe that went into governments up in the highest level, and they said, okay, well, it's not hitting for 150 years. We're not going to tell people about this because that puts an end date on things, right? So they wouldn't do that because obviously people would panic. I don't even think people would panic if it was 150 years. But then again, they're thinking about generations ahead. So our kids' would be panicking, and then the cat would be out of the bag, per se. So, would they tell us if something was going to hit? The answer is no. I think that should be considered a fact. Unless there was something they had to gain by telling us, such as, they needed all the greatest minds in the world to figure it out on how to stop it. Right now, as we speak, there are operations going all over in different countries around the world, including Russia and China, on how to stop asteroids, on how to destroy them, on how to steer them away, how to speed them up or to slow them down. We have things such as the HAMMER, the Hypervelocity Asteroid and Mitigation Emergency Response Vehicle. It's essentially a nuke on a rocket. That is an impactor, so that would just hit it and blow up and try to slow it down or speed it up. It's kind of like an intersection, or this is how some put it. It's an intersection, and Earth is going in its way and the asteroid's going in it this way. And at some point they find that it meets. They need to either slow this car down or speed this car up, or slow this car down or speed this car up. And obviously Earth, if you go by what science says, and who knows, you might not, then this one is the harder one to move. So you would have to move this one. And we've seen that they are doing everything in their capabilities all around the world. In fact, secret agencies that we don't even know about here in the U.S. are working on it right now. Why are they doing drills like New York, doing a simulation where an asteroid hits New York, and they did basically a mock evacuation, and they failed horribly. They said it was the worst thing. If it was a real event, they would have been screwed. They've been working with FEMA. We also have had all this kind of stuff about the EMS systems being used in the event of any kind of doomsday disaster. It would be actually the presidential alert, which there's been controversy around only since 2018, October 3rd, when we had our last one, or the test, because it was related to the current prez, T-Man. But again, this is something that's been around longer than that, and it's something that will most likely be used in the future. Near future, if you are going by some estimates. So with the asteroids and everything else, what if that does play a greater part? We don't really know. What I do know, though, is if they did find one, they wouldn't tell us. And there's been a lot of weird stuff around asteroid mitigation and all of these different missions that they've all of a sudden done. They've formed the Space Force, which, of course, everybody can say that there is a second reason for all of these things I'm listing. Like Space Force, they could say, well, Russia and China are weaponizing space with satellites, all of this. But at the same time, Russia and China are both saying that they are trying to go to the moon and put lasers, put weapons to destroy asteroids. So it's like, it's kind of like you can go down either path, and it's what sounds more logical and feasible, and it's almost subjective for what you believe. But what I do think is that all of these countries all of a sudden started going to the moon, or saying they were going to the moon. Even Israel sent a probe. You're talking about countries that normally don't care about this, now trying to gather and actually, produce a space program. So what is actually happening? That's what I want to ask you guys. I'm going to head over to the chat here in a minute, but I want you guys to be open-minded about everything we talk about here. I'm open-minded when I listen to you. I'm open-minded when I talk to folks who don't even believe in space. That's fine. I listen to everybody. I try not to say, there's people that say, oh, you're an idiot, or you're this, this earther or that earther. We don't do that. Some of my mods believe in the complete opposite of myself. We've never had an issue with it. It's just not something. We don't just sit there and call each other idiots. It's not something we do. In fact, if we see anything talking about another creator in our chat, we get rid of it. Any creator, even if it's a creator that's currently doing troll videos on me, it will be deleted, and those people will be banned after 3 warnings. So we don't talk badly about other people. We don't talk badly about the callers, which, just to remind you, if you do want to call in tonight, you would be calling 224-400-MARF. That's, again, 224-400-6273. We want to be positive here. We want to push everybody up. We've helped over 1,000 creators on YouTube reach 1,000 subscribers or more, and even monetized in most cases, so where they can actually start their own channels and begin to grow their audiences and spread whatever their truth may be, whether it's truth or crocheting or just making granny videos. In the case of Ann Lynn Show, one of my favorites. So again, let's go over to the chat and then talk about these asteroids that are coming in. Have you noticed that there are more asteroids now covered than ever before? And again, think about all of the articles that pop out about asteroid the size of Big Ben, the asteroid the size of this, the size of that, the size of a mega shark, an asteroid the size of Oprah, whatever it may be. I don't know if that one has happened yet, but it will, I'm sure. They're running out of options. Let's see here. Let's go over it. Thank you, Recalcitrant. They call me Tang. Says, there we go. And then Art Bubba. Can't say that, unfortunately. PMC 2020, Bear Claws, Island by the Sea. I don't know about Italy, but we will talk about it on the next episode. Red Butterfly, Morning Flower, PMC. We've got Vashadow, The Truth is Out There, Stony McStone Realtor. Thank you so much. Shonic and Baldylocks Awake says, hey, Fugle fam, praying for you all and our country. By the way, if you do see some of the folks in our Fugle family I've been watching with a kind of a deep heart, I've seen there's quite a few people with some pretty severe things going on in their lives. Just make sure if you see somebody that's hurting to reach out to them and try to push them up and give them whatever your capacity is, whether it's positive thoughts or prayers towards them. I know that a lot of people I saw several just lost a family member, things like that. So make sure to put that in there as well. If you're in the chat, this is a big kind of family, and I hope that you guys treat it like so. Let's see here. We've got Colorado Cajun. Thank you so much. They call me Tang again. Thank you. Says, Grimmond is way too real. I got to see the G-Mind is way too real. Toadman, Morning Flower. I'm thinking you're... Oh, Greenland. Okay, yes. The Greenland movie, I think they could have done more with that. Honestly, I think they could have made it better. But that in itself was an example of the presidential alert and how it would be used. And they do say that experts say that would be one case scenario, how they could use it. And if you haven't seen Greenland, it's not really messing anything up because it is in the preview or the trailer. But they use the presidential alert by name. So they say, Dex James, you are to come to Tennessee airport to go to Greenland bunkers. They would send that directly to Dex James's phone. They would not send it to, Bob Derringer's phone or something like that. So that is one case that they actually are trying to use. Now there's a lot of FCC kind of alerts about not using the alerts or not using radios for crimes. But there's also kind of some alerting ones basically saying that they have to pass along, every broadcaster has to pass along any kind of alert, no matter what it is, including presidential alerts. They have to pass that on. Otherwise, they face serious criminal charges. Why would they have to do that? Well, they did it saying under the ADA kind of disability thing, basically saying it's a law because anyone with disability needs to get these kind of alerts. That one was separate from what people are talking about right now, and I don't want people to forget that because I think there's some weird stuff going on, kind of just everywhere right now. Let me go over to the mass chat here. Let's see. And we've got Julie Malcolm, thank you. Survival Living, a.k.a. CFP, up in the house. H. Shalom, Davy Boy 77, nice to see you tonight. Liz LaMarche, we've got Effins Love Q. We've got Sword of the Spirit over on YouTube. Nibiru is a creation of Paul Begley's mind. I don't know about that. I do watch Paul Begley from time to time. Hello, Marfugle fam. Adam Dex. Let's see here. I haven't watched the Flintstones in years, says Yabba Dabba. Indiana Prepper 2, Sup Marf, says Craigslist. I love it. Sean S. We have Beth Storm, Lynn. We've got Ray Truesdell, Peepo 3, Marianne. Thank you guys all for coming here tonight. You guys are awesome, and thank you. As you guys know, that there's real stuff going on as well. I mean, like really real. I hope you guys understand that we are all going through the same thing, no matter who it is. It's almost kind of scary that I agree with. In some ways, I do agree with that creepy Madonna video she made a few months ago where she's like, all of us are being affected. I think that is true. I think there's only a tiny, tiny percentage of people that are not being affected by this. And I think some of us don't realize it, but this is something that has affected us way deeper on so many levels as far as the last year, the events that have happened, the last month, everything that's happened that, has torn us down. I think that can only make us stronger. So I'd say this year we really start to try to push up and try to do something positive with it. Let's see here. Generals taking over. That's a next show. And then we've got Richard Branson's Virgin Orbit successfully blasts satellite into space after failed first attempt. So we covered the failed first one, I believe. This one basically has a 747 launch these missiles. I don't know if they have a picture of it on here. In fact, I think if I go to the original, you can see this. It is a giant 747 that has these missile-looking things on them, and they launch, and those are the rockets that end up launching these satellites. It says Virgin Orbit, the rocket company funded by billionaire Richard Branson, successfully put out its first satellites into space using its novel air launch system. The California headquartered company said that the 10 mini satellites had been carried into space by the same rocket, which was launched from the wing of an old Boeing 747 jumbo jet as it flew over the Pacific Ocean. The jet, nicknamed Cosmic Girl, took off from the Mojave Air and Spaceport at approximately 10:50 a.m. on Sunday. Almost 60 minutes later, it dropped the, quote, Launcher 1 rocket about 50 miles south of the California Channel Islands at a height of about 35,000 feet. So they're up at flying. I don't see why is the richest man in the world, though, using a super old plane? That's what I kind of didn't get about that. It says after release, the rocket engine ignited, accelerating Launcher 1 into space. Around 2 hours later, it says at an altitude of 500 kilometers, it deployed 10 shoebox-sized satellites, which were developed by universities and selected by NASA. And it says the satellites will be used for space research purposes. It says, a new gateway to space has just sprung open, said Virgin Orbit CEO Dan Hart in a statement, that Launcher 1 was able to successfully reach orbit today. It is a testament to team's talent, precision, drive, and ingenuity. So I've actually had DMs saying that this is, that they're just making this stuff up, that if they could do this, they would have done it years ago. I don't know. Honestly, I think, why hasn't this been done beforehand? If this is something, they've launched things off of planes for years, and in fact, since the 80s, they've had other things launched off of other things. I don't know why they haven't done this, especially for satellites. Maybe it's a money thing. I don't get it. It doesn't make too much sense. Let's see here. Little Drummer Boy, 1776, thank you for the sub, and sorry for missing you last time. And then wing-launched rockets have been done for years. Exactly. So why did they just start doing satellites this way? I don't get it. Let's see here. Automatic, somebody says I'm getting drunk if the lights go out. That's a whole nother subject, and that's a whole nother thing that I think people should prepare for. If you haven't seen my previous shows on that, make sure to go watch that last one, especially the last one on YouTube. And then we have NASA's 8-minute rocket test shuts down after 67 seconds. Dex, I'm going to pull you in here if you are not on the phone. This is another one. How many of these have had weird instances surrounding them? This is just kind of odd. When you are free, just kind of chime in. NASA says it has more work to do after a rocket test Saturday for its shuttle replacement ended with a premature and unexpected shutdown. The test at NASA's Stennis Space Center in Mississippi was part of NASA's Artemis program, a plan to return to the moon in the coming years, and it says NASA's test called for 4 engines to fire for 8 minutes, roughly the time it will take for NASA's Long-Delayed Space Launch System, or SLS, to generate the thrust needed to send the rocket to space. Now, this one is definitely controversial as far as the Artemis program. It says, but the engines shut down after just 67 seconds when engine number 4 suffered a major component failure. Scientists are yet sure what caused the early shutdown, but they plan to analyze and regroup. One thing that I never rule out is some sort of sabotage on any of these kind of things. People don't think about that kind of thing for NASA, but NASA is a U.S. thing. And there are other countries involved right now that are doing all sorts of stuff. we cannot forget about SolarWinds and the hacks that have gone on that affected all 5 branches of the military. And again, I look at little connections like that nobody is making, and I just see how it plays out if there is any connection at all. Of course.
Well, speaking of that, we just put the transportation business to the. We just put our biggest competition up against the old transportation system to the International Space Station, right? We used to go over and pay, a lot of money to send stuff up with Soyuz rockets from Russia. We don't do that anymore. Elon has changed that. Now, I'm also guessing that the folks at NASA probably wished Elon's team was around, because they probably may not have had, although they've had their own issues too, but they have a pretty good track record with their rockets, at least firing them.
So I wonder how much Russia was actually making off of us asking them to launch, or supposedly making off of them launching our stuff. It was crazy to me that at one point we were at war with Russia, and then of course you had just a few short years later with one of the guys who still. I mean, here's a weird thing that I just never have kind of got. Is the 2 countries that we know are running completely opposite kinds of countries than ours. And by opposite, I mean like, human rights violation type stuff. And their leaders are more like, the opposite of that, more of like a forced leadership, if you know what I mean. Why have we done business and been so close to things like that when we morally have never supported that kind of thing? I've never understood that, as far as the president of both countries have done some really messed up stuff. I mean, like really messed up. Here's the one thing.
Ours
has
$80 million.
$80 million.
Per seat, per astronaut. According to 2018 estimates, it was over $80 million.
You know what, though? I wonder if that means if it costs $80 million, could somebody like Elon Musk pay Russia $80 million and go up to space? Is that because I've heard about these guests going to ISS or whatever? We just heard about that recently. Is this something that's already existed for a price tag? You would think if some of these billionaires would go, use that.
Well, I think we talked about that in a prior show, that somebody did pay the Russians to fly them up.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but it even looks like, I was looking at a new number. It said last year we paid $90 million for a seat.
Wow, that's incredible.
That's a lot of money.
That, and just for one, and we were doing all sorts of things through them. So if not,
Elon's the new Uber.
Well, say if some are right, and they were just giving them $90 million and writing it off and saying, yeah, we're launching a rocket, and the rocket just went off into the sea, right? And there was nothing in it. If that was right, either way, that's $90 million. And how many times did we do that? That's pretty insane. That seems like a huge waste of money. Why, in prior times, did we even cut it in the first place? I thought we cut it because of money, but then we ended up paying some other country, technically not our ally, money to do it for us. I just never understood how that was cost effective. How many billions of dollars was it to keep? When was it dismantled? Why was it dismantled? Along with our military. Why was our military dismantled? Severely. I mean, we're talking about China now has the largest military in the world. It does confuse me.
You know how much Elon charges?
How much does Elon charge?
$55 million per seat.
We just saved $25 million.
Yeah.
That's pretty extreme. I mean, that's a good deal. Shoot.
And state of the art, new rockets, probably better tech,
and probably tablets with Temple Run. I mean, what more can you ask? Play some Call of Duty Mobile while you're on the rocket, and probably the spaceships make farting noises too when you press a button. Who knows? Either way, if you guys want to protect yourself, I would say that if you are paying attention to what is going on in this world, I would highly recommend an EMP shield. It is something that experts have said has been a concern for years, but only now are people finally starting to pay attention to what is going on. Of course, after SolarWinds, after Black Start was actually accessed, that was our plan to restore power after a catastrophic outage. After that, a lot of people have actually picked one up. Now, the most important one, I would say, is one for your car. This can actually block against all three phases of an EMP, E1, E2, and E3. It can ground the signal before it fries your device or your car. They also make one for generators. They make one for home protection. They make one for RVs, motorcycles. Again, you have 5 motorcycles you're planning to ride out of town on. You might want to have one of these. The car version you can actually wire in yourself. It takes about 5 minutes and about 3 wires. So very, very easy. Again, you can go to marfugelnews.com/EMP. That's again, marfugelnews.com/EMP. All right, let's take our first caller, and then we're going to talk about a neutron star crash spotted 3 years ago, is still pumping out X-rays, but why? All right. Again, the number is 224-400-MARF if you want to call in. Just to remind you, Teager, let's see here. Teager says, the biggest camp ever. Yes, we're going to talk about a whole lot tomorrow. Make sure to tune in. All right, and then let's see. Let's go over here. I want to make sure that we see this. Deidre, sorry if I messed that up or butchered it, said that she saw something tonight in Oregon. Let's get Deidre on. Deidre, you're live on Marfugel News.
Hi, Mark.
Hey, what's going on?
Hi, this is Deidre. I used to live in Utah, and I've since then moved to Oregon. So I've been watching you guys from afar, but haven't been really communicating much. You know, a lot of moving and stuff going on. But anyway, I just wanted to call in tonight and talk about a sighting that I seen earlier this evening on my deck. I couldn't believe it. It was a double take. Let's just say that.
Now, what did you see?
And I don't have a YouTube channel. Hope you don't mind.
Oh, no worries. You don't have. It's not a requirement.
Oh, okay. So I was sitting on my deck and I was noticing the planes. I live close to the airport, but this particular light was not. It didn't have the red and blue lights flashing at all. And I remember that being mentioned before, that typical planes would have that flashing. It was a circular light and it was moving very slowly, and I was really blinking hard to make sure I wasn't seeing it wrong, because you know, sometimes you wonder if you're seeing things right. So it just faded away. I mean, it was moving slowly. It didn't have any flashing lights, and it just faded out. I was wondering if you think it might be a drone.
So can I ask, was it white and then it just faded out over the horizon, or? Yeah,
it was a white circular light, and it was going very slowly, and I was staring right at it, and it was moving up above me. So I mean, it wasn't very close, but I'm just saying it faded out. It wasn't like it just shut its lights off. It faded.
Now, well, can I ask you a question? Was this, did it look like a star, or you're saying it was a circle when you say it was circular?
No, it was definitely a moving object. I knew that for certain.
The only reason why
I was blinking. Okay.
The only reason why is I have seen, and I've seen a lot of weird stuff. I usually look for kind of zigzag movements or anything else, but I have, and this is just my personal experience, I have no idea what you saw without seeing it myself, and it very well possibly could have been something weird. But I've seen where I think there's satellites perhaps that go over, and then as they go around, I don't know if it's the sun missing them or something, but I've seen them fade away. I've recorded almost every one of them thinking that they were something else, and I still don't know. I still don't know what I see, but I've seen the same thing where it fades away and there's no clouds, perfectly clear sky, so it is quite weird.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it wasn't a satellite because it wasn't that far up. It was actually quite close, but it wasn't close enough that, you know, that I could see it very well. I mean, I just know it was high, about as high as a plane, but not probably half the distance. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. And so when there's calls like this, and what time around tonight? We have thousands watching. So
it was just about.
Go ahead.
About an hour ago. It was just tonight. I mean, there was no sun, no clouds in the sky, and I'm in a suburb of Portland, so it's outside of Portland.
So if anyone else saw what Deidre saw, make sure to put it in chat or to DM us. And if you've got video of what she saw, let us know. We've had several calls like yours where it was just somebody who cited it, didn't have time to video it, and then others have sent in video of that exact thing. Especially, we've seen these things coming in flaming, looking like meteors, and then somebody else actually did catch it and sent it in to us right away. So, Deidre, I hope that one of our audience members actually caught it on video if they saw the same thing. Again, that's in Oregon. I guess, are you near Portland? Would you say outside an hour away? Or
I'm sorry?
Either way, it doesn't matter. If you guys were around the Portland area and saw something in the sky, make sure to report it. Is there anything else that you wanted to go over before you go, Deidre?
Oh, no, I just wanted to say hi more than anything. It's been a while since, I moved, and I spoke with you guys about, this goes into other topics, but I hope you got a chance to watch Gaia because of some of the things they were discussing on there. And there is some space-related stuff that they're talking about, again, with, I'm not sure if I'm allowed to mention names. Am I allowed to mention like the visitor name?
The host, or just
no,
you
guest.
Can say names, yeah.
So Captain Kramer, he's on there again talking about particular things about space, and it's very interesting again, as always. So,
to be honest, I've never heard of him.
Anyway, I won't go into too much detail.
Well, just
you haven't?
It's per show. So tonight we're focused on UFOs and space, but again, you can always call in again. You don't have to wait a year before your next call. No, I've never heard of Captain Kramer, so I will make sure to check that out. Well, thank you for calling in, Deidre, and I do appreciate you. And maybe if you do have more to call about, call in on one of our YouTube shows as well.
Okay, great.
All
Thanks.
right.
Have a great night.
You have a good night as well. Bye-bye. She's crazy to say in itself, but Lady Blue says, took, Adam. Hey, interesting blue lightning last week. Now we have Mount Hood going full steam ahead with, be ready, I'm Washington also. So, Lady Blue, Mount Hood has had swarms of earthquakes. Washington has had tons of weird earthquakes. I do think it's very odd that we're just getting all of this seismic. I would say anybody on the West Coast, including yourself, be prepared for the largest earthquake that humanity has ever seen this close to modern civilization. I mean, we're not talking about shacks. Japan was a good example. But again, Japan was one of the most prepared places in the world when Cascadia subduction zone hit. The West Coast is not. So remember that. California should be a little bit more prepared for the earthquake part, but nobody is going to be prepared for the tsunami. Cheryl Beth Carter says, let's get this year straightened out. Do good for others. Keep your eye on the sky. Remember your relatives were immigrants too. Love the Fugel fam. Thank you, Cheryl Beth Carter. And Kieran Pickard, thank you so much for your support from Europe. Samantha Anderson says, I live in Idaho Falls, Idaho. And I usually watch the replays, but never miss a show. Samantha, you are one of probably 40,000 that watch the replay the next day. And honestly, I mean, when this show ends, it usually has anywhere from 5,000 to 10,000 views. That next day, I know that there's 40,000 to 50,000 of you watching every single replay. So I cannot say thank you enough. That means more to me than anything else. I really do appreciate all of you that can't make the lives usually, and you still watch. So thank you. And if you're watching a replay right now, to some of my avid replay watchers, I really do appreciate you, and I am so glad to have you. Make sure to push a comment down below, and make sure to tell me something, anything. I read almost all the comments. I can't respond to all of them, but I try to heart as many as I can, and if I do really catch one that I see, I try to respond to it. So, again, thank you, and remember to comment down below, too. That helps us with engagement. It helps us with all sorts of things. Western Body says, old plane to avoid. Let's see here. Let's close that out. Old plane to avoid EMP issues. Western Body, that is wouldn't have even caught that. So another thing that people have been talking about is how EMPs will affect planes. I don't know if the new planes are affected by them. I don't know if, because I know certain newer cars, and not all of them, are not affected by EMP the same way. As far as like actually running their computer systems, maybe their Android Auto might go out, but there are some newer cars that can deal with an EMP or they wouldn't be affected. I wonder about planes though. Dex, don't you remember talking about how they were trying to get planes out of the museums, as far as the air museums? Do you know what I'm talking about, Dex? I don't know if you were with me then. But they were basically saying that they wanted to revamp fighter jets that were in museums. Chime in when you want. John Raxness, you always forget me, Marf. I watch replay. I do bet. And my money is on hashtag Team Humanity. LOL, it was me. John Raxness, I don't forget you. Thank you so much for your support. And, of course, thank you for your Donahue donation right there. Liz LaMarche.
Hey, Adam.
Yes. Do you remember that story?
No, I do remember. I thought it was almost like the boneyards, wasn't it? Some of it was museums, but was some of it boneyard stuff? They were pulling out the old jets from there.
Yeah. So why do they need these old jets? And the thought back then was that they want them because they're not affected by EMP, and
right.
they don't have to depend on GPS for some of the navigation stuff. You
right.
would have to go old school.
That was what our thought was, and it certainly makes sense. I don't know, how effective those would be, but I'm sure they could do some tasks. But compared to our modern stuff, but if everything modern is out, then you're gonna want to go to the next best thing.
Well, did you catch what she said? She said maybe that's why they're using the old Boeing 747. But I don't know. I don't know about planes. Maybe the old Boeing 747 is still newer than, what they need to be. I just thought that was actually a really interesting thought. Well, thank you, Dex. It says, hi, fam. Big comet hit the sun recently. Saw on BP Earthwatch today. Great channel if you guys haven't checked him out. We usually scroll his link in our chat on YouTube. We rotate it. It says, quiet on TV. Shout out to DM walking on the road. Keep calm and carry on, y'all. Well, thank you so much, Liz LaMarche. And then Greatly Humbled. Thank you for subscribing. I am greatly humbled by your subscription. Thank you for being part of the fam. I know that a subscription or a sub, as some people call them, are human beings behind a screen, and they all have individual problems. So I am greatly humbled to have you. So thank you. All right, and then let's see here. Going into the neutron star crash, this is kind of funky. It says that 3 years ago, 2 neutron stars collided in a cataclysmic crash. The first such merger ever observed directly. Naturally, scientists kept their eye on it, and now something strange is happening. Astrophysicists observed the star collision on August 17, 2017, spotting for the first time ever signs of the same event in both a gravitational wave chirp detected by the Laser Interferometer Gravitational Wave Observatory, or LIGO, on Earth, and a massive burst of different flavors of light. The X-rays observed at the location 130 million light years from Earth peaked less than 6 months after the merger's discovery, then began to fade. It says, but in observations gathered this year, that trend has stopped. An X-ray signal is unexpectedly lingering, according to research presented on Thursday at the 237th meeting of the American Astronomical Society, held virtually due to the pandemic. It says, our models so far were describing the observation incredibly well, so we thought we nailed it down, Eleonora Troja said, an astrophysicist at the University of Maryland and NASA's Goddard Space Flight Center in Maryland, told Space.com. It says, quote, I think everybody was convinced that the thing was going to fade quickly, and the last observation showed that it is not. This is 3 years later, and this thing is alight. I am just an average civilian. I don't know much about this, but it does, there's all sorts of weird things that we don't know as general civilians. We don't have access to see these things. So, could it be something else? That was my thought. Dex, unless you have something to say about this, I just thought this was weird. And it's a very interesting article. You guys can go over on marfugelnews.com and read the rest of it. It actually goes into the mystery of it. Dex, do you have anything to say about it? Otherwise, I was going to move over to a couple videos. No worries. Okay. And let's see here. We are actually going to grab T. Syker here in a second. But first, UFO in Cape Hatteras. Viral video sparks debate of mysterious flying object. Days before the CIA released a large cache of files involving unidentified flying objects, or UFOs, following a Freedom of Information Act request by podcaster John Greenwald Jr., social media was abuzz about the UFO last week over North Carolina's Outer Banks area. It says, according to the regional newspaper, the News and Observer, photographer Wes Snyder captures what appears to be a mysterious object in the sky. Okay, so this shows kind of a slideshow of this. Let me see if... Okay, now that is flippin' spooky. That does not look like a meteor. That does not look... that looks like a giant missile, if anything. It looks like a cigar-shaped... that is one of the weirdest things. It is oddly square. I don't think that there's a way to explain that with long exposure. Even if it was, how does it have that shape? That is like super weird. It says... The object is visible for just under 3 minutes total, so I doubt it's a meteor or shooting star, for those typically only last a few seconds. Snyder posted on YouTube, judging by the video, the object appears to have corners. Here's the video in full. Now, this is a trip. You can actually watch this entire video on our website, marfugelnews.com. Let me just make sure here. Let me go to here. Again, this is a super trip. I'm not going to play the audio here. I wanted to get a screen grab of this. Check this out. What a crazy cool video, though, too. Trying to grab a good one here. Look at that. Is that not just spooky as all hell? That's... And to... Maybe it's closer. Think about this, though. What if it was closer than you actually think it is, and it's some sort of cloaked ship that's actually not out in space passing by Earth, but much, much closer, the size of, even at that, it would be just ginormous. But what if it was the size of, 4 747s, or... 30 football fields wide or something, but it was much closer? Or was that genuinely something that just passed by Earth that barely missed us? Was that a dinosaur killer that just passed us by, and it was so big that it was slow enough to catch it over 3 minutes? That's the thing. This was over 3 minutes. There's no way that this could have been a shooting star. That is really freaking spooky. And with everything that's happening right now, it's like, what if this is part of, what if Greenland was right? What if this was some big piece and like the trail was going to hit us or something? Why are they making the, what do you call it? Asgardia. It's an actual group of elites that are doing all of the formal paperwork, doing all of the actual paperwork to start a sovereign nation in space. And they're taking it seriously. What's even crazier is that we are on such a level that we don't think that, the next 20 years is going to change. Look at how much it's changed in the last 20 years. Look at where we have come technologically in just 20 years. I mean, you're thinking about it. Just remember cell phones just a few years ago, flip phones with Snake. Now people are playing, grade A, amazing, VR titles on their phone. It is absolutely insane what is going on right now. We are living through history. Think about this too. Out of all the time humans have been on Earth, or it doesn't really any time frame, no matter what you believe, any time frame, what percentage had technology or even had power? Think about that. Electricity. What section out of the thousands and thousands of years humans have been on Earth, what percentage of that had electricity? And what time do we live in right now? Is that not a trip? We are in that very last part. Because of when we were born, we are seeing the most insane things ever. So, I mean, it really is quite a wondrous time to live, no matter what you believe in. It says, quote, I spent the night at Cape Hatteras Lighthouse shooting time-lapse photos to create an upcoming video. While I was looking through my footage, I realized that there was something in the video that I could not explain, he wrote on Facebook. It's much larger than your typical plane appears, and it's moving way faster than clouds. It says, can you identify this flying object in the time-lapse video? This occurred at 10:20 p.m., 1/7/2021. Facing south-southeast in the sky, the object was seen for a total of 166 seconds, or just under 3 minutes. I spent a night at Cape Hatteras Lighthouse shooting time-lapse photos in order to create an upcoming video, and it said, it was much larger than your typical plane appears. It was moving way faster than clouds. Can you explain what this object could be? The object appears at 10 seconds and lasts for a total of 16 frames. That is just flipping out of this world. Literally. And yes, I said literally. Frequency says, anyone notice we've been given, quote, our choice of cages? Biden or Jude Law's brother Marty? Yeah, I have. Grim Reaper, thank you so much for your support tonight. And, of course, Dan Bills, thank you so much for going over to PayPal during the show. I appreciate that. And then over on DLive, thank you guys all. I see a lot more just popped in, a lot of new followers here. Thank you so much. Azset Damankina, Sasquatch Northwest, thank you so much. Scooby-Doo Do-Right, thank you. I appreciate that. Gone Girl, 777, thank you for the massive support tonight. Hi, Adam, Dex, and Mods, Fugel fam. I loved your tweet earlier, by the way. I saw a Israeli News Live video earlier that really kind of put things in perspective, or at least what Jonna said. I thought that was really good. All right, Dex, let's take the next caller, see what they think about this too, and then let's see. We have T. Syker, first-time caller, who's going to talk about an orb and a flash of light in Quebec, Canada. Got some Canadians.
So hello, Mark Fugel. Hello, family. How's everybody tonight?
Hey, how are you? You have. It sounds like you have a familiar voice. Is this your first time call, or did we miss something?
It's my first time caller, but this is Syker. Maybe you hear my accent already on the live chat.
Oh no, that's okay. Yeah, I know. You know what you sound like? You sound like Alaska Prepper, kind of. That's actually where I think you have a similar, the first 10 seconds, but now I see it's different. Anyways, T. Syker, how are you doing, and what's going on tonight? What'd you see?
I'm really good. The story I'm about to tell you happened to me about 18 years ago, but I still remember like it was yesterday. So basically it happened, I was in British Columbia, like I say, around the year 2000. I was on the mountain there. There's a mountain in Kelowna. I was like a place it's called Bear Creek. So basically, it's like the turn. So I was pretty much near the top, and it's like a little creek with water. And I was laying there. There's like a little beach. I was with two friends of mine. One was sleeping and a girl beside me. So we were looking at the sky and we're talking. Then all of a sudden, I saw like a star that was moving in an oscillating pattern, like in zigzag, but more like oscillating. Like an oscillating wave, like coming toward us.
Like it was pulsating,
and
or
when
something?
you were in the mountain and stuff. No, it was not pulsating at all. It was like the same brightness and the same size of a star, but it was coming toward us in an oscillating pattern.
That's so weird.
Right away, I look at my friend. I'm like, do you see that? Like, what is that? Like, yeah, what is that? It's weird. So anyway, we're looking, and it was really kind of looking like it's coming toward us. And like when you're in the mountain, there are some clouds that, like, it was a clear night, but there were a few fluffy clouds, like maybe 4 or 5 all around us. There were one that was like looking lower, and there were one that was maybe between 30, I would say maybe 35 feet away from me. It was like really close to us, right above where the river passed or the creek passed. So anyway, we're seeing it coming, and what is that? What is that? And I start looking around, and I saw another one coming like on a diagonal angle on the right of me, and doing the same, like going the same on the same pattern, like oscillating pattern. So we're all glued, we're looking at going, but all of a sudden it came like it was like really close from us, but it passed right in between us and the cloud. Like it passed like right under the cloud. So it was maybe 30 feet from me. And when it went around under the cloud, like it was a white cloud, I see it clearly what it was. And it was maybe like 12, it was perfectly round. It was like maybe 10, 12 feet wide. And it looked like liquid mercury. I don't know if you like broke a thermometer before and play with mercury, but you know how it looked like liquid metal. So that's exactly what it was looking like when it passed underneath that cloud. And after that, it went back to like it passed the cloud and it looked like a star again. And
Are you saying similar to what, like in the movie Terminator, the second Terminator, where the Terminator is made out of that metal?
That's exactly what it was looking like.
Yeah,
and it was looking like that water was moving. It was not like just a mirror ball. It was really like liquid, and that liquid was moving. And it was perfectly smooth and everything. No sound at all. I was in the mountain. It was like all I could hear was that creek, the water passing by, right? So right there, we're like, hey, what was that? And she saw it and everything. But then they kind of went away and dimmed out, and we let them aside. But a few maybe 20, 30 seconds after we lost them aside, like from the side of the creek, like I couldn't really see what was there, but like there were the creek, then after the creek there were like some pine trees, and all of a sudden there's that flash of light. It was like, it lasts like 2 seconds. It was like a flash, like an explosion. And it's like on that 2 second period, the light was like, it started red, then it turned orange, it turned yellow, it turned green, it turned blue, then it turned purple. Then it just dimmed. And there were no sound, no wind, no air, no smell, no nothing. But that flash was really like a big explosion.
Do you tell?
What weirded me out about it is that it took like that long, and I had time to see like all those colors.
Now,
exactly, that's what I see on the screen. That's exactly what it was looking like.
Do you tell people about this, or is this something that you've kept to yourself?
Like it was Sorry?
Do you tell people about this story, or do you keep this to yourself? A lot of people kind of keep these kind of things secret because they're afraid of being judged.
Oh, you know what? Actually, like, it went kind of out of my mind, like, the day after, because it was so weird that I just couldn't believe in it, and it kind of went out of my mind, and it took me about 6 months before I started really thinking about it and just realizing that it was real and it happened for real. And I didn't really share that story that much, just like to close friends or stuff like that. But
You never,
for me, it was like
you never
it's
said
really
if there was a,
spectacular, but it's hard for people to believe. So.
you never said if there was a sound
Sorry?
attached. Did I miss? Was there a sound attached to this?
No sound at all, no smell, no air depletion, and it was really close from me, and I didn't hear a sound at all. I was still all along that pier. I was hearing the water flowing on that creek, and that sound, the only sound that was there.
That's what
And
everybody
it was so
says.
weird that it kind of went out of my mind for like the morning after. I was not really thinking about it. It's just like 6 months after that, or a few months after that, I start thinking back about it, and
So,
but it's really impressed in my mind. Like I remember it like it happened to me yesterday.
well, T. Syker, great story again. Just to paint a picture, you know, there's a lot of folks that have called in, especially since we started doing Unidentified Fridays, which again, I know it's Monday, but they have said the exact same thing, that they don't hear a single thing, and that has multiple colors, the same kind of thing. I've never heard the liquid mercury, but I have heard where there's zero displacement and no sound. So I just think that's really interesting that everybody kind of agrees there's no
Well, it's
sound.
like I see. Yeah, because it was from really close, but there's a few things I've seen popping up on internet lately that you see the same kind of ball as I saw, and it's a bit further, so you don't really see like that liquid aspect like you see there on the picture, but you see it on internet. There's those orbs that look like metallic, but when you see it from real close, it's really like it's liquid like you see on the mercury there, but it was like moving, you know, like the mercury was moving around on it. It
Well-
was weird, man.
And it's like Flight of the
I saw a
Navigator.
few other,
Go ahead. I think we have a bit of a delay.
yeah, I'm sorry, I'm on an internet phone because in Canada I have to use an internet phone. So.
No.
But yeah, I
Thank
saw
you.
other thing, like I saw streak of light in the sky, like green streak going, like moving on a 45 angle and stuff like that. But that one I saw from very close, and it was like, but and when when I see that it split the light like that, what I'm thinking about is that maybe to go in speed, like maybe they can go over the speed of the light by decomposing it, like the splitting the light and that's how I don't know, it's like
It would be a
being
different
understand.
physics. Basically, they're breaking physics. Well, T. Syker, we're out of time, but I want to thank you for calling in tonight. And again, your stories are welcome, and I'm very interested in that. And now I want to hear about any other stories about Mercury-looking UFOs, light displacing.
I got a good one for you next week.
All right,
About
thank
the
you.
Afterlife, an experience I had that was like marvelous. I felt serenity. Anyway, I call you back on that. Everybody gonna love it.
All right, well, thank you, T. Syker. And again, it's your first time call. Obviously, it's not going to be your last. Thank you. That was T. Syker. Again, all of the information will be on our website of all of the callers. But also, let's see here. We're going to go over to some of the viewer-submitted videos. But first off, I want to show you something. I thought that was pretty weird. Look at this. So this may just be technical, and Dex is probably going to be like, oh, well, that's because it's this or that. I just think I have a firm belief, especially using the VPN. I've noticed that some sites don't work when you are in the U.S., but when you put yourself somewhere else, they do work. Like people don't think that we are having things filtered out here in the U.S., but I do believe there is. It says, we're sorry, this content is not available in your location. If you believe you have received this message in error, please contact us. Error 21. That's just weird. Dex, do you know what that's about, by the way? Dex, do you know if it's a Canadian site, right? Can't you access that from anywhere in the world? I mean, I've accessed several different Canadian sites or .au.
I don't know the site, and I'm not seeing I'm on the phone with somebody, but I do know generically what you're talking about is country sites like that can filter out other countries. For example, like a state business may only want to eliminate the problems that they have with dealing with outside of the U.S., so they may restrict their content to just U.S. customers, or even a state organization would restrict it to just their country.
So Canada doesn't want U.S. folks in their stuff. Well,
right, probably, and like you said, using a VPN, you'll be able to see it. I've seen that with mostly with government stuff. Like if I've gone to, a court filing or something, that court system may just restrict it. And by the way, you've got laws like in Europe, the EU laws, and all those little pop-ups that we get that say, "Will you accept the cookies?" We do that because of, and everybody else does it because of Europe and their laws, their privacy laws. So if you don't want to deal with that, then you just say, block everybody but America.
Well, that's definitely weird. But it's CBC, so Canadian Broadcasting Center. I've seen CBC before. Anyways, it looks like it was just on that one, maybe. I don't know. Either way, let me close this down because it's probably slowing us down here. Let's get into the videos that we had submitted. We had several, so we got to get started on that. We've got submissions from Sky Object, Harley Quinn. All right, let's start this one. So this one, it says, it was early afternoon, and I noticed a bunch of just planes or asteroids going by, and several going different directions, but horizontally in the sky, and some going down. Strange, and it happened again about 2 hours later. So weird. What were they doing? This is another kind of shot that I'm like, this looks like a Greenland shot. What the heck? All right, so check this out. This was submitted by Cynthia Pillow. Again, if you guys want to check out any of these channels, you can just go to the website, and then right in the corner, it's super easy. We've made it incredibly easy for you to help these creators. Go to Cynthia Pillow, hover over it, and then you can actually go, bam, subscribe. All right, so let's play this one.
What is it? Oh, crap. What is it, Mom? What is it? Oh, those asteroids?
That is so cute.
What are those?
What? Wow, there's 3 of them. What in the...
I'm trying to take a video.
Did you guys... I don't know if that translates over. If you're watching this on a phone, you might need to watch this, because look at that. Dex, this is a good catch, I think. Those weren't planes. There's not 1, not 2, but 3. At least 3. Why is everybody seeing these? This is like straight up, like out of the movie Greenland. Like, where are these things going? Are they leaving Earth? Are they coming in? Why are they in the sky for so long? I'm telling you, I feel like something massive is going on right under our noses. Like I said, it's like we sleep, right? Obey, consume, watch more, CNN. Yep, we've got him. He's on Marfoogle TV. That is weird. If you want to watch that...
It is, Adam.
If you want to watch that video, go over to our website, marfooglenews.com. What were you saying, Dex?
Hey, sorry, phones have been crazy tonight. But by the way, did you catch the jet earlier? Or I just want to make sure you saw it.
No, I did not. Let me go.
No message there, but redhead with dreads.
Redhead with dreads, thank you. You are, by the way, since the 4th or so, and actually the first 4, we know who they are because they're our all-time supporters. We have listed all of the Ninjet donators. So you are actually on a smaller list that is, again, people that have gone above and beyond and did the highest compliment on DLive. So thank you so much. Redhead with dreads, much appreciated. Thank you so much for supporting independent media and independent creators. We, again, pass along a lot of that, so thank you. Gone Girl 777, same thing to you. Again, for those of you that have continued to support our channel, just really can't say thank you enough. We've had to go through so many hoops and through so many loopholes and crazy things. So especially, we just never know what's going to happen tomorrow. So thank you so much. Maui Racing Realtor, it was nice having you call in the last week or week before. Thank you so much for being here tonight. Nelly 14, Reaper's Punisher, Bear Claws. We've got, of course, Gone Girl. Thank you again. Many emoji. Xena 79th or Xena79H. Thank you for following. Welcome to the Fugle fam. We've got Lala7786. Thank you for the lemons. JK. We've got Mamawa Dorduris. Thank you so much. And, of course, Divine, 1122, Scooby-Doo Do-Right, and Stand Strong Women. Flip Biscuit, thank you for 8-viewer host. I do appreciate that. Seriously, thank you for introducing folks to our channel. That is incredibly appreciated. One Aunt B, Grego2, Bucket Howl, thank you so much for following. Based Patriot, thank you so much. Lisa K, we've got Morning Flower, we've got Gas Electric Wolflight. And, of course, Jedi Mind Trick, thank you for following. Seriously, it is appreciated. Barbara Rowe, Jedi Mind Trick, thank you as well. Flip Biscuit sent me, and then you sent over an Injigini. Hey, to Flip Biscuit, thank you so much for hosting. And to Jedi Mind Trick, thank you for coming over and supporting. That's what my people do when they go over and we host somebody. So it's a very D-Live thing to do. Thank you. Boomstick 12 and Gola Not Jules. I'm gonna have to go. I don't know if I'm followed Flip Biscuit, but I will make sure to go over and follow you. Let's see here. And Godson, thank you for following. All the people that came over just now, thank you. Enoch 1776, Chewy Weather, and Penny Lane. Thank you. You guys are awesome. Thank you, and just can't say it enough. All right, I'm going to play a couple of videos here without interruption. This is Sky Object by MJ. No subscribers, so we could obviously help MJ out. It says, was waiting at the airport and happened to look up to see this object.
I don't know if y'all could see this, but look at that. Perfectly lined. Like there's something there.
Okay, so RE55, if you're watching,
Like these lines right there look like
you should take this video
look at that corner.
and do negative
Look like a
contrast.
triangle? Or am I tripping?
I do see it. Look at that.
Y'all tell me.
It's like there's
Over
something massive there.
mountains in Ontario area. Ontario, California. It's wild.
Oh, weird. It was like right here. It's like the plane popped out of nowhere or something.
Ontario, California.
Oh, never mind. It just popped back into frame.
It's wild.
That was, yeah, like I said, RE55. I know that you actually enjoy taking that. But if anybody wants to take that video and then send me a picture of the contrast, I would like to see if you took that and did some extreme things with contrast to see if there is anything hiding there that we can't see with the normal video. That was MJ. What was that?
No, I was going to say what I saw in there, what I thought was interesting was maybe the cutaway of the clouds. Is that what you were seeing?
Yeah.
Or did you see something totally different?
Like the clouds were hitting just...
Like something had just inserted itself and it was invisible. Like you could just imagine if there was this giant invisible thing and it just cut the clouds out.
Because the clouds are so far apart, but they just happen
Right.
to have this like exact kind of wall, an exact
Exactly.
line.
Yeah, it took me a few times when I was looking at that, and then I realized that's probably what he was seeing.
L Luna 3377, thank you, and thank you. Gone Girl, thank you. Let's see here. This is September 8th, 2020, by Harley Quinn. So make sure to love mob all these folks. Let's play this one. It says,
This all started at 4.
This shows up off and on. I don't think it's a star or satellite. It responds to me. I have pictures too.
4:30 a.m. It is now 4:58 a.m. and the object has not moved. There is no pole. It seems to be shooting like rays of light underneath of it, but the camera doesn't seem to be picking it up.
What's weird is I can kind of see what she's saying, but maybe it's because she said it.
58 a.m. and the object has not moved. There is no pole. It seems to be shooting like rays of light underneath of it, but the camera doesn't seem to be picking it up. Not moved.
I thought I saw something below it, actually. Hold on.
There is, and the object has not moved. There is no pole. It seems to be shooting like rays of light underneath of it, but the camera doesn't seem to be picking it up.
What I actually see is it almost looks like there's an aura, or that's a shooting star facing towards it. It almost looks like it is like some sort of tail on the back of it, like coming towards you, perspective wise. I don't know if you guys see that either. But there was one shot after she said that there's stuff coming out below. I don't know if it's the cell phone kind of doing a white balance change, but I kind of saw something. That is another thing too. If somebody says there's a dot and there's a line coming out of that dot before you watch the video, I think that your brain can tell you that there is a line underneath the video. Not to say that she's, seeing things. She again said that you can't see it on the camera and you can see it in real life. But when you put it on camera, it's not showing up. I thought I saw something there, but maybe that was just the white balance, right?
Well, one of the other things, picture, and it's not hers because she said it was there for a very long time. I don't remember how long she said it was present for, but I've seen this with other people. Is if you're near air traffic, and air traffic is running in the opposite or different direction or an unusual direction, you can get airplanes that are coming in with landing lights on, and if they're coming at you, you'll see that white light and it'll never move until they actually make a decent amount of descent, down, as long as they're heading right towards you. In other words, you'll never notice it change, and you'll think, wow, why is that white light? Because it happens to me. The air traffic here goes one way, but occasionally it flips around, and when you're driving down the interstate, you're like, wow, that bright white light's just sitting there and it won't move. And then a few minutes later, you'll see, okay, then it starts to turn and take and head down. So just an observation. I don't think it was hers because she said it stayed there for a lot longer, but other people may see that, and just take that in consideration.
No, I completely get what you're saying. Now, just to remind you guys, if you do want to protect yourself against other kind of intruders, especially digital, I would highly suggest VPNs. In fact, it just kind of reminded me as far as, Canada or any other country that might be filtering out results to us. This is one way you can get around it, but this is also a way to hide your IP. It is also a way that you won't get data logged, and it makes it harder for people to hack you. Make sure to go to NordVPN and use the code Marfugel to get 70% off on a 3-year plan. In fact, there's all sorts of plans you can do by the month, by 3 months, 6 months, all that kind of thing. But go to marfugelnews.com/VPN and use our code to get a huge savings and to help the channel. That's again marfugelnews.com/VPN. Again, that's marfugelnews.com/VPN. And then Gone Girl, thank you. Lisa K and Gone Girl going back and forth. Luna, again, thank you, and thank you. Let's see here. We have Stephanie, a first-time caller, talking about unidentified experience while walking in the country. Let's get Stephanie on, and then we'll go over a couple more of the submitted videos, and then we'll get Richard and Joss Davenport on. Stephanie, you're live on Marfoogle News.
Hello. Thank you. Hi. I've been trying to get up the courage to call you. I've had a lot of time on my hands, but beside the point. I was about 15 years old, and I'm 40 now, to give you a time frame. I was kind of upset with someone, and so I went for a walk, and I was by a railroad track, and a sound of like a stage light, like the sound. I heard that. And, I heard you earlier, talking with about not hearing things. Well, I heard that, and everything went white. I'm not talking about illuminated or brighter, or I didn't see nothing but white. And then after that, they said it's gone like 30 minutes, and it was like a less than 5-minute walk, there. I feel like it was like in shock for a few, but then I turned around. I didn't feel like I was like taken or anything. I don't know what it was, but I didn't look up. I just, all I remember was turning around. Everything was back to normal. The street light way down. The street was on, and it was probably about halfway through the night. I was relatively into the night, but after that, I started hearing voices, and I was labeled as schizophrenia, and I'm a 1% of the population. I don't know if other people have had any of that kind of experience, but I wanted to share it. That was it.
Now, are you saying you heard like a Jake break type of thing? Like a...
No, it was like a theatrical light. When they turn on those bright lights for your theater acting and stuff. That sounds like when you turn on a heavy light.
I do know the big ones. Yeah, in fact, I have like a tiny version LED above me, but the ones with the huge flaps, and then the sound as they kind of turn on. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yes.
I know exactly.
And,
that's
that was
weird.
1995, and that was a long time ago. I've lived with this for a long time. It's like the voices started to come at night, and it put me to sleep, and then one day I woke up and they never went away. My mom explained it to me one day. It's like, so I could get it out there a little better, like a hall of voices that won't be quiet, or a TV that can't shut off. But I do well. I do quite productive, and the key to it is having Jesus in my heart and feeling that kind of love. You got to portray the love to get a good life, especially when you have a mental illness. So I don't know if that was delusion or not, but I don't have delusion. I just auditory.
Well, I wouldn't say, I wouldn't automatically say that you're mentally ill. I mean, there are folks that, I feel like sometimes I hear certain things, and it could be my eardrums or something else. But some people are more perceptive than others, and I don't know. I believe in God, and I believe in that they can talk to you, and angels can talk, and I don't know. Maybe we're just not perceptive. I woke up to Bob Marley, Three Little Birds singing to me. That was a pretty cool experience, but it's not the point. Sorry to interrupt. Well, we appreciate you here, and I don't think you're crazy, and I don't think you're mentally ill. I don't know what you have been diagnosed with, but again, I think you sound like an amazing person, and that is a weird instance.
Thank you.
A lot of people, though, have heard things like that after their experience, and that's why they go to some forms of therapy specialized in kind of encounters, because they put them into deep sleep.
Interesting. They have those out there?
Yeah. Are you kidding? There's whole movies documentaries about kind of what people have gone through. So usually it involves some sort of hypnotism, and then they bring you back to that moment, and a lot of the weird stuff has come out of that. There's been some really weird, real stories that have come out of that, and it's helped some people because it brought them out of something that was buried really deep. So maybe something you want to look into.
Well, thank you for talking with me. Oh, and I was going to share, I live in Indiana. This happened a long time ago. But just recently, like around 2014, I was in Illinois, and I was outside, and it was nice out. Of course, I was outside, probably goofing around or whatever night. But I saw a star. It felt like a out of place star. But obviously it wasn't, because I went inside and I got my friend. Oh, come on, does this look normal to you? And he's like, I don't know, maybe. And all of a sudden it shoots right up in the sky. I mean, it looked like a star. It could have fit right in, but I'm always looking at the stars because of my experience. But that was my other neat encounter, I guess you could say. So.
Well, I thought it was, again, everything plays into it, and we've all had our instances. I have stuff that I never really told people until I told family. In fact, I've told stories on the show that I have only told in real life before this show existed. I've only told maybe like my mom, or I've told my aunt. But I wouldn't have told anybody before that, because for a long time I always thought that people did look at you weird if you talked about those kind of experiences. That's why I thought that this kind of show would be a good thing, so people could either anonymously or call in just regular and get things off their shoulders. So I appreciate you calling in, and I hope it gets better.
Yes, thank you. I'm glad I was able to get through. Thank you. I just want people to just know that they're not alone if it's anything like that it's happened to them. And if you do have a mental illness, it's okay. But thank you, and God bless you, Marf. And thank you, Dex and Marfigel fam.
Well, God bless you as well, and you have a wonderful night. And I'm praying for you no matter what, whether you are or not. It doesn't matter to us. We love you.
Thank you. Love you guys.
All right, love you too.
Good night.
Good night. All right, so let's move on. We actually have. Let's see here. Okay, let's see. AIM, thank you, says, love what you do. Thank you for coming to almost every show. Some of you folks out there, I can't say, like, when you see the same 1,000 of the same names, that's so incredible to me. I sometimes wonder what is different about our show. Why people have always tuned out like this. Even when I was really, really small with no subscribers, people would tune in. I've always wondered that. What sets... I'm sure it boggles other people too. They're like, why does so many people watch them when I'm doing the same thing? Sometimes I wonder the same things too. I really do. Thank you all for being a part of this, and thank you for backing me up through everything, and thank you guys for being so loyal. I know there's other people you can watch, and I understand that there's other people that probably deserve to be watched more. So thank you. Joseph Johnson, please shout out Perfect Lamb Ministry on YouTube. I think I have before, have I not? But Perfect Lamb Ministry, I've never, I don't think I've heard of them, but maybe I have. Sounds very familiar. It sounds like one of the husbands of the wives I met at one of the meetings when we were doing our state meetings. All right, let's see. All right, Dex, let's get our next caller on. We do have, or I guess, Dex, let's check time, but I think we have time to get Richard and Joss Davenport, and they've got videos, and then we'll play the rest of the viewer submitted videos.
Yeah, and we have about just under 30 minutes left, so yeah, let's get them on.
Okay, I'm going to load up your videos. Richard and Joss Davenport, when you come in, I'll have your video ready for you.
Hello.
Hi, is this Richard?
Yes, it is. How you doing, Marv?
All right, how are you? So I've got a video here. What are we pulling up here?
Go ahead. Okay, so the other night, me and my wife were in a room. We were sitting there, and we hear it sound like a jumbo jet, like literally fly over our building because we live in a 6-story building. And I mean, it was so loud, it like almost the walls were shaking. And we're like, "What the heck was that?" And then I was like, I look out and I see this light, and it was already far away, too far to where I couldn't see what it was. But I sat there and it looked weird. It just didn't look like a normal plane or anything. It got to a certain point and it stopped. And just stayed there, and it looked like it had like kind of even my wife said that it looked like it had like a force field around, like it had like something around it. But I mean, it was just it was so out of place. So I grabbed my phone, I started filming it, and both videos are of the same thing. But if you watch it, it doesn't look normal. It looks like it's like something that it's not a plane because it stayed stationary for at least an hour or two. And they go, well, about an hour, because then after I got done doing my video, like I stopped it because my phone was about to die, and I went and put on the charger thing, and I went and looked back out, and it was gone.
Now, if I play the audio here, are we going to hear it, or is there any sound?
No. That's what it already passed. It was just I just caught it whenever it had stopped out, and it wasn't even out of our atmosphere. It looked like it was in our lower order atmosphere, like a lower atmosphere right before it goes out. It was weird. But then if you look at it and you watch it, it just doesn't look like it looks like it looks like it's a big like a plane or whatever. You know what I mean? Not even a plane. It looks huge, and it was acting weird, and it was just the way it was. It was like the lights, and it was like coming in and out of focus. Like for some reason, my cameras kept on like unfocusing, but then the lights, it would blink, and like you'd see 2 and then you see 1, and it didn't have any lights like a plane or a helicopter or anything, and it was just weird. And I just wanted to get it to you guys because all the things that I've been having, I've been trying to film them so that way I can call up and submit them to your show. Well, and this is because we're next to Kirtland, so I mean, a lot of crazy, like I told you last time I called it, a lot of crazy stuff's been happening.
This one looks a lot less blue, but what we'll do is everybody is going to have access to this video, Richard, and they can go over. For some reason, so you and your wife both saw this, and then what state was this in again? This was in New Mexico?
We're in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Okay, well, and
we're right next to Kirtland Air Force Base.
I'm pretty sure you guys have a lot of sightings, do you not? As far as your area?
Yeah, this is about the 4th time I called in, but I mean, we see things every night almost. But that last time I called and I said, yeah, there's been anything. The last time I called when we seen those, the last video I submitted to you guys, the next day there was so many jets flying around here. It was like as if they were checking on something, because I mean, literally there was at least 3 or 4 jets flying in patterns all around with helicopters, all black helicopters, just flying around like. Just patrolling. It was weird all day.
What day was this? When was that, by the way?
It was probably about 3 weeks ago.
Okay. Well, good to know.
I don't know the exact date, but...
That's okay. Just a lot of that's been going around. So, again, Richard, thank you for submitting this. And, keep your camera to the sky. I appreciate your call in. And also keep your eye on that other stuff, too, as far as the, stuff in the sky, period.
Oh, yeah.
Whether UFO or not.
Oh, yeah. And then one other thing, too, the reason why all of us enjoy your show so much, and me and my wife especially, we tune in every night. We have our alert. Once your alert comes on, Marf's on, boom, let's do it. And, I mean, we love your show, and you're not... the other guys, they do all the other stuff, but they're so monotone. Like, I mean, it'll put you to sleep. You back your stuff, especially after my wife, when she'll explain stuff to people. Like, no, Marv, whenever you watch the show, because he backs everything he says up. No matter what, he'll have everything that he says up. It's not like, hearsay. It's backed up with actual proof. You know, and a lot of other people, they just say it and they want you to believe it.
Hey, well, thank you. That seriously means a lot, Richard, and we take a lot of time. I don't think a lot of people understand,
how much good work goes into it, yeah.
Yeah, what Dex does, too, as far as the internet, everything that we do for the community, as far as outside of this scape, as far as the money we put back into the community as well. A lot of people don't see that, and we don't shout it out every day because then people go, why are people say we pat
Right,
ourselves on the back
exactly.
when we're right. We're only trying to gain credibility when we do that, but we don't pat ourselves on the back for doing half the stuff we do. I mean,
Yeah, you do it because you want to, because you love doing it. That's the whole thing, is that you could tell you actually love doing what you do.
Yeah, we do. Otherwise, any other channel would have been burnt 2 years ago, helping these smaller creators.
Yeah.
After the first, 2 or 3 turned against, them. Every 10 that we helped,
Exactly.
one turns against us and says, oh, he's crappy, after, we just sent over 1,000 people of our most loyal people over. So, yeah, no, I
Exactly.
appreciate you guys, and say hello to the Weiss, to the missus. Thank you for watching as well. I appreciate it, Joss.
All right, and you have a good one. Like I said, thank you for everything you guys do, and you guys have a good night. I'll be in touch. The next video I get, I will call you. I'll call you up, man.
All right, and then maybe make it like R and J or something easier to find, and we'll love mob
Okay.
ya. All right, Richard and Joss Davenport. This is the channel. If you want to love mob, you can go over here. Put those on there. This is one that you're gonna have to look at, possibly on your PC or even on your TV. The first one that I did, that link is on the website as well. Was very hard to see, but I could see it on my 4K screen that it was just really glowing blue. So make sure to go do that. This is, I don't know why it's zoomed in, but let's see here. This is Richard and Joss Davenport. And boom. I always subscribe and press all. By the way, the like button is apparently, this is a rumor I heard, that the like button is broke on many people's phones, computers, TVs, or whatever device you're using right now to not like on. So make sure to test that. Test the like button on YouTube. Just you can also put the dislike as well. Let's test it out. Like or dislike. Either one helps engagement. Thank you, trolls. Okay, Joseph Johnson, please shout out. Perfect, got that one. Oh, and then absolutely insane stuff that we're going to be talking about later this week. Almost forgot to remind you guys that. Make sure to watch the next 2 shows. We've got some big stuff happening. Also, if you have video of generators and all this crazy stuff going in, let us know. Bones, who's a truck driver, many others have been catching some crazy stuff out there. Video all over the internet is surfacing in all of these different states. They're setting up all sorts of stuff. So we will be talking about that on a further show. Very soon, probably tomorrow. Tower Bear, thank you, says, been thinking things are way bigger than T-Man. To make changes, it's up to us common folk. Tower Bear, thank you so much. And yes, I believe you're right. Gone Girl says, Adam Dex Mods, work hard. Much love. I don't know if that's your bye for the night, but seriously, bless you, Gone Girl. You and among others, just seriously, thank you. A lot of military around. Yes. I'm telling you, there is just some craziness. Tumbleweed, thank you for following. It is always awesome to bring a new person. I know you're a human being behind that computer screen, so Tumbleweed, thank you so much for being here. The truth is out there. Thank you for being here. Thank you as well. I really do appreciate all of you guys. Lala, Turbo, we've got, I can't even say that, anti-Bedecrix looks like ambidextrous, but it's not. Majestic 12, that's awesome. Thank you so much. Sunshine B, Concerned 2511, Roholio, thank you for gifting subs out. Shine 57, Kara K, Penny Lane, Kara K again, thank you. Mrs. JLK, just slurped like a 5th grading lisp. Let's see here. All right. Let's go back into the videos. All right. This is Life on Mars by Philip Revitt. 2 subscribers. Make sure to go love mob. Philip Revit. Oh, wait. This one does have a description, so let me read this before we start it. It says, Life on Mars, amazing images from NASA's Mars Curiosity rover showing signs of past civilization. I've tried to keep it short, but it's worth watching full 30 minutes. Some highlights will be at 15:30. Let's see here. Let's go to this. 15:30, 16:40, but it's all very interesting. Thank you for showing my previous video. Love the show. Been watching for a couple of years. Philip Revit, you guys, if we showed a previous video, he should have way more than 3 subscribers. Philip Revit and Richard and Joss, if you do want to eventually get people to your channel, just make sure that you can have a easy channel name. A lot of people, obviously, if you're commenting right now, you have a channel. You just don't realize it. They put the real name because that's you're opening an account with a platform just to watch the videos. But you can always change that name in your settings. I think you're allowed like 3 per every 3 months or something like that. But you can change your name to something that's easy, but it's sometimes hard because there's a billion channels, so almost every name is taken. That's, again, kind of why I came up with Marfoogle. All right, this one is, for some reason, having problems here. All right, here we go. Let me skip to 15:30. I will definitely check out the full video, by the way, sir.
Again, look at that right-angled block there. Come on, that's not natural. That doesn't happen in nature. Right angles like that, clean angles. Nope. Sorry, folks. That is just. Oh, there it is. Oh, ruined the moment. Look at that. Now, if you think that was made by nature, then I've got to disagree. Possibly, that's a minute possibility. That could be a piece that's fallen off of something we've sent up there before. Could be. But it seems to fit with everything else we're looking at. Look at the angles on these pieces here. This is sticking out of the ground. It's got a hole in it. Definite hole, because you can see the shadow underneath, and it's a circle. Look at the angles on this. Look at the curve on that. Mind-boggling. And that's there. That is there on Mars. Come on. Just these blocks just look totally unnatural. Look at the curve on that. Honestly. Seriously. And what is that? Is that an image? Look at the curve. Curves to there. Curves back down.
So I let it run long enough to hit the 2 main kind of time shots that he had. But this is a 30-minute video going over tons of different. It looks like they have tons of the Mars Curiosity rover pictures. So if you click anywhere on there, he's going over kind of a Google Earth of Mars, or the equivalent, right? Very interesting stuff, and at the very least you can go through it and look for yourself at some of the weird kind of structures there. Some of it I'm like, well, there are weird rock forms here on Earth, but I have seen many weird shapes and oddly almost man-made looking things on Mars. I've looked at. There was a page that was up that was taken down. That's what was really weird. A lot of us were talking about it on Twitter when I first started on Twitter. There was this page up for I think it was 13 days, and it was looking at pictures from the rover, and I believe that it was like these weird high def, and it was like a side camera or something, and it just disappeared. The website was shut down. The owner said that he wasn't going to ever open it back up. It was really odd. And that was kind of something that made me go, Concern 25111, thank you for coming tonight. Obviously, you just got gifted a sub by Roholio. Roholio, thank you for gifting out 5 subs or Marfia badges. That is really appreciated. Lovely lady, lovely Lyle, lady, thank you. I think I said that right. Youper girl, I haven't seen you in a long time. I'm pretty sure I haven't seen you in a while. Let's see here. I love beagles. Love to see you here. I wonder if we've got I love Dosh hounds as well. All right, and that last one I didn't want to miss. Gone Girl. What was that last thing you just said? And I think I missed it. Dang it. I think I missed it. That's okay. Scrolls a little bit too fast. Too furious. All right, this next one is RE55. I'm sure you're watching. RE55, thank you for the submission. Seriously, take that other video if you are watching. Make sure to, if you can, screenshot and try to get a contrast of it. Ari, we got to talk on the phone. As long as you're putting copyright stuff, I would not mind at all you playing your own music, and it's kind of a double advertisement for your music. I don't know if you sell your music or what you do. Maybe you just jam. But sometimes, here's the thing with YouTube is that they are now, even if you're just playing a riff, if it's a famous riff, they will get you for that. It's been pissing off a lot of people that do, instruction videos. Pretty stupid. This is another example. RE55 has, I want to say, a Nikon T1000. If you're in the chat, please tell people what it is. It's a 1,000 times zoom camera. And this is obviously something very odd. And he's caught a lot of meteors. He's caught a lot of weird things coming into our atmosphere. This one, when you zoom in on it, it looks like a metallic object. It looks like it's going way faster than our normal, jet. What the hell is that? Honestly, you guys you got to go over to this video and watch it. And RE55 is one of the biggest submitters. Well, at least recently, we've had some big ones, like, just as big or bigger than me in previous ones. But you guys got to check out RE55. He's going to be a big YouTuber. Get to know him before he is, because now he's small. He can still respond to most people, and over 5,000. He's on his way to 6,000 subscribers. He really does a quality job video-wise. This video, Asteroid Neo Space Junk PX system, make sure to go click on it. He goes through and then he actually puts the negatives, the contrast. This is who I was asking to look at that other video, because he does do a really good job. If you guys haven't checked him out, he is very dedicated. He's a really cool creator, and he's never said a negative thing about anybody that I have ever heard. Those are the kind of creators I like to surround myself with. He is appreciated, and so are you guys. All right, let's see. Yeah, don't know what's on there, but let's see. Let's go back to here. That is RE-55. You can get to his link right here. Or you can just go over and hover over this. Bam, subscribed. And then OMG, what is that? This says, this is about 6 days ago, headed to my dad's. I happened to look to the left and seen some flashing lights. They started to just look like stars at first, but then I noticed that they were making what seemed to be a triangle. It says then at about 1:03, if you slow down the video, you will see an object with 3 lights come to a group of lights, then fly off. If you slow it down, starting at 1 minute and 3 seconds and 1 minute and 17, you will see that it has 3 lights straight across. And it's not passing cars, reflecting. They have 4 lights, 2 by 2 by side, and then one on top of the other. Okay, let's just get walking into it. thank you for putting such a detailed description, because sometimes it is harder to understand what we are exactly looking at. Especially if you want people to slow it down. That's extremely helpful information when you submit. So thank you. Seriously appreciate that. Cynthia Pillow. Okay, let's see here. Cynthia, I know what you're talking about. I don't know if I'll be able to. I always try to give my honest opinion as well. I feel like I've seen this on my phone as well. It might be part of the censored type of thing. But I would like to get everybody's opinion on this, because if you go right here, look at this. I see exactly what she means. And look at this. But I've only seen one dot on my phone. Like one dot. And it's like partly a reflection type thing. And it's not because you're looking, I'm not saying, so sometimes if you look through glass, you see it. This is not, so say even if you're outside the car and you're seeing a reflection of something, it would be the camera looking through the cell phone glass on the back of your phone. And sometimes because of the stabilizers, sometimes it like moves around, I think. But I've only seen one little mark by that. That's 4. And that is actually kind of weird when you slow it down. So let me try to catch this, and then I'll actually slow it down. Am I going to be able to? Hold on. Boom. Playback speed. I don't know why it's so small, though. There we go. There it is. Okay, upper left-hand corner. It's going to be up here. Then it's going to drop down. There it is. Look. Okay, that is weird. Maybe I don't know what that is. It's on really slow, so I'm just trying to make sure I nail this here. And then while that's playing in the background, Casabella, thank you for following. Mpachi23, thank you for following. Roby G, thank you for following. Tips McGee, thank you for following. Saib Meister, thank you for following. All of the new Fugel fam, I appreciate you. You are all human beings behind those blue lines. So thank you. It means a lot that you're watching us. See that. Here's the thing. I saw it over on the right side just there. I would highly recommend you watching this for yourself. I'd love to get your opinion. When you put a comment down below, if you want to tell me what you think this is, put OMG video and then what you think it is. OMG video and then whatever you think it is. Because there are 4 little dots, and normally it would be, if it would be 1 or, I don't know. I'm almost curious what kind of phone you got this with. Because that's like, it's not the normal thing I've seen on my phone. That does not match up. What do you guys think it is, though? Because the only reason I know that is because I got one that I tripped out on, and then my friend pointed it out to me. So, but I don't think that would make sense because it was 2 and they're off center. Lights Over the Woods, MS. What in the heck? April 2020, Hazelhurst, MS. Okay, let's make sure this one stopped. It's got that creepy... Listen to this. Ugh, it's just spooky listening to it.
It is 1:16 a.m.
What is that?
And that is usually not like that. That's woods.
Oh, that's spooky. You can see the tops of the
Hazelhurst,
trees.
Mississippi. So I guess it would be the 19th of April. The hell is that?
Hey, Adam.
Yeah, we're out of time.
Yeah, I just want to give you a heads up. We got less than 4 minutes.
Okay. This had 11 seconds left. So if you guys want to watch, so this kind of fascinates me because I've seen this in Oregon where we were looking out and there was no freeway, there was no city, and we were looking at only trees. And somebody said that, I wonder if they would say that this is swamp gas. I understand that kind of light when you're looking at the city, but as she says, I don't know what area this is. It would almost be interesting for you to send in like kind of a top-down map of like where is that straight up? She said that that's the woods. Have you experienced something like this where you're looking at straight up woods, mountains, whatever else, and you see this kind of hovering light? That was, let's just click on it. If you guys want to go over and love Mom, clicking on their channel now so you can go over and check them out. It looks like this is MH. Just straight up initials there, I'm assuming. Lights Over the Woods, MS. If you want to look at it for yourself, it's right there. The link is also on our website, marfugelnews.com. On the right side, if you guys want to support us in any way, that is there as well, including our Amazon link. Obviously, a lot of people say Amazon evil. One thing that, a lot of people forget too, though, is a lot of mom and pop businesses have put their stuff on Amazon. Yes, Amazon does make a cut, but you can also support mom and pop businesses on there as well, especially if you shop because of the lockdowns and things like that. If you're shopping to your door, if you're already doing it, that's what we are saying. If you're already doing it, if you go to that box first, then it actually helps us. It doesn't cost you anything extra, and it's a easy way to support if you're already doing it, getting stuff delivered to your house. If not, I would highly suggest, doing something else. Okay, and then again, EMP Shield, Nord, PayPal is all on the side of the page if you want to support us in any other way. We do appreciate it. We put a lot of work in before the show. Dex appreciates it again too. Thank you so much, Dex, for being my internet brother and awesome tonight. Great show.
Love you, man. Great show.
T. Palomino, thank you. Nuclear War, thank you so much for your support. Gone Girl, thank you for, I believe, I hope I didn't miss anybody. I normally somehow miss some. Redhead with Dreads, definitely, that was a surprise. So thank you so much for your massive support tonight. Let's see here. Redhead with Dreads. Hear myself talk. Nobody likes that. Redhead with Dreads is number 1 tonight. Gone Girl, obvious number 2. Roholio, thank you for being number 3. A ton of gifted Marfia badges out there. Lisa K23 and the famous and infamous Tower Bear. Thank you for being number 5 tonight. You guys, it is now officially time for the Shoutro. If you are on YouTube, it is going to continue on to D Live. We're just turning off YouTube after the 2-hour mark because of the processing. So I will say thank you to everybody over on YouTube first, and then over to D Live. Now it is officially time for a Shoutro. It's not an outro. It's not a shout out. It's a Shoutro.